Space has always carried secrets, but one of the strangest is said to orbit right above us. A dark, tumbling object, unclaimed by any nation, known as the Black Knight satellite. Its story begins long before spaceflight. In 1899, inventor Nikola Tesla was listening to the stars. He picked up strange repeating signals, too structured to be random. Tesla believed they were from another world. Some later claimed the Black Knight was the source, the first hint of alien contact. Decades later, the mystery resurfaced. In the 1920s, amateur radio operators heard strange signals too. They called them long-delayed echoes. A radio wave would bounce back seconds later. No one knew why. Some thought Earth's magnetosphere was playing tricks. Others whispered, alien technology. By the 1950s, the Cold War had shifted humanity's gaze upward. Space was the new battlefield. The US and the Soviet Union raced for orbit. In 1954, newspapers carried a shocking claim. Retired Navy pilot Donald Keyhoe said to mysterious satellites circled Earth, neither American nor Soviet. He called them alien watchers. The public was fascinated. The military said nothing. The legend grew. In 1960, radar operators confirmed something strange. A dark object moved in polar orbit. At the time, no nation had the technology for such an orbit. It circled the planet silently. The press exploded. Mysterious satellite found above Earth. Some blamed the Soviets. Others pointed to aliens. The US military tried to calm the panic, announced it was an old piece of Air Force equipment. Few believed them. By then, the Black Knight had become legend. In 1963, astronaut Gordon Cooper made it stranger. He reported seeing a glowing green object during his Mercury 9 flight. It followed his capsule. Cooper's transmission cut off. The incident was never explained. Later, NASA denied it happened. Conspiracy theorists had fuel for decades. Was this the Black Knight shadowing astronauts? By the 1970s, the mystery merged with myth. UFO writers claimed the satellite was 13,000 years old, a relic left by an alien civilization, watching Earth's rise and fall. The number 13,000 came from an obscure Norwegian experiment. Scientists had studied the radio echoes from the 1920s. One researcher guessed they could be signals from a distant satellite. His math suggested it orbited for 13,000 years. UFO writers loved the number. The Black Knight became ancient, a silent guardian, or a silent warden. By the 1980s, the story was irresistible. Books, magazines, and documentaries spread it. The Black Knight was said to be massive, shaped like a dark wing, tumbling endlessly, sometimes visible to astronauts, sometimes seen by amateur astronomers, always unexplained. NASA shrugged it off. To them, it was space junk. Thermal blankets, rocket debris, or misidentified satellites. But the myth was stronger than official denials. In 1998, a new chapter began. The Space Shuttle Endeavour launched on STS-88. Astronauts photographed a strange object in orbit. Angular, black, alien-looking. The images went public. They spread across early internet forums. Conspiracy theorists cheered. "The Black Knight is real," they wrote. The photos looked like no satellite anyone knew. NASA gave a simple answer. They said it was a thermal blanket lost during a spacewalk. A piece of insulation drifting away. Case closed, they claimed. But skeptics disagreed. The blanket story felt too convenient. The photos became icons of the legend. To believers, proof had finally arrived. To skeptics, proof of misidentification. The divide sharpened. Believers saw alien technology. Skeptics saw floating trash, yet the mystery refused to fade. And so the Black Knight sailed into the 21st century. Next, we follow the investigations, the NASA explanations, and the conspiracy theories that refuse to die. By the late 1990s, the Black Knight was everywhere. Forums buzzed with speculation. UFO conferences used its photos as evidence. But NASA stood firm. They insisted it was space junk. Specifically, a thermal blanket from STS-88. Astronaut Jerry Ross admitted dropping it. Cameras caught it drifting away. The shape matched the photos. To NASA, mystery solved. but believers weren't convinced. They argued the Black Knight had been reported decades before 1998, long before. STS-288. How could a lost blanket explain sightings from the 1960s? They asked. NASA stayed silent, only fueled speculation. Investigators tried to untangle the story. They found layers of myth piled on each other. Tesla's 1899 signals, the 1920s radio echoes, the 1954 satellite claims, the 1960 radar blip, Gordon Cooper's alleged UFO sighting. It's a 13,000-year-old theory. And finally, the 1998 photos, each from a different source, each with different explanations. But together, they form the Black Knight legend. UFO researchers love the patchwork. They wove it into a grand story. An alien probe orbiting Earth for millennia. Watching, waiting. Ancient astronaut theorists joined in. They said the probe was evidence of alien seeding, that it had monitored humanity since the dawn of civilization. Some linked it to the Sumerians, others to the Egyptians. A cosmic overseer. Science writers rolled their eyes. They pointed to mundane explanations. Tesla's signals, natural radio interference. The 1920s echoes, strange but terrestrial. The 1954 satellites, likely space debris or misreported tracking. The 1960 radar, a piece of the Discoverer program gone astray. Gordon Cooper's UFO, a myth invented years later. The 13,000-year orbit, pure speculation, and the 1998 photos. It's a thermal blanket, nothing more. Case closed, said the skeptics. But conspiracy theorists had another argument. Of course, NASA would deny it, they said. That's what cover-ups look like. They accused NASA of hiding alien contact, of burying the truth to avoid panic. The more NASA denied, the louder the believers shouted. Websites spread grainy photos. YouTube channels analyzed the object's shape. Look at the angles, they said. This isn't junk kits designed. Engineers responded with laughter. Space junk takes strange shapes. Thermal blankets fold and twist. Sunlight makes them look eerie. The debate raged on. In 2011, things got stranger. A viral story claimed the Black Knight had been transmitting signals. Amateur radio operators supposedly decoded them. The signals pointed to Epsilon Boötis, a star system 200 light-years away. Proof of alien origin, believers said. But the story crumbled quickly. It traced back to a science fiction hoax from the 1960s. Still, it was shared as fact. Once again, the myth consumed the truth. By the 2010s, the Black Knight had become pop culture. It appeared in documentaries, in comic books, even in video games. A silent watcher above Earth, alien, mysterious, eternal. Yet in reality, there was no single Black Knight. Just fragments of history stitched together. Radio anomalies, misidentified debris, human imagination, and the hunger for mystery. But that didn't matter anymore. The legend had a life of its own. Science said junk. Conspiracy said alien, and the Black Knight drifted between them. Believers still wait for disclosure. Skeptics still shake their heads. And the object, whether blanket or probe, still tumbles silently in orbit, watching Earth spin below. The myth isn't going anywhere. Next, we explore what the Black Knight means today, its legacy and culture, and why people keep looking to the skies for answers. Because sometimes mystery is more powerful than fact. By the 21st century, the Black Knight had transcended fact, became a story told in whispers and headlines. A blend of science, folklore, and imagination. People didn't ask if it was real, they asked what it meant. Movies hinted at it. Video games placed it in orbit, comic books made it alien tech, even musicians referenced it. The Black Knight was no longer debris. It was a symbol of hidden truth. Of mysteries governments keep secret, of the vast unknown above us. Why does the legend endure? Because it taps into a timeless question. Are we alone? The Black Knight suggests no. It whispers that someone watches, not gods, not nations, but something older, something out there. For believers, it's comforting. Proof of cosmic neighbors. For skeptics, it's frustrating. A tangle of half-truths and hoaxes. Yet even skeptics admit the story is irresistible. Humans crave mystery. We crave stories that outlive explanations. The Black Knight is exactly that. A legend stronger than facts. NASA still says it's junk. Engineers point to simple answers. Blankets, debris, misreadings. Nothing more. But no official statement has killed the myth. If anything, denials keep it alive. Conspiracy thrives on silence. Each denial sounds like a cover-up. Each explanation too convenient. So the story persists. It evolves with time. Today, the Black Knight is part of ancient astronaut theory. Some claim it's the same satellite Tesla heard in 1899, the same one that sent signals in the 1920s, the same object astronauts glimpsed. A single thread connecting a century of anomalies. Scientists roll their eyes, but storytellers smile, because myths don't need proof, they need power. The Black Knight has power in abundance. Keeps people looking up, wondering, hoping, fearing. Its legacy isn't in orbit, it's in us. It's in the way we hunger for the unexplained. In the way we resist simple answers, in the way we chase shadows across the stars. The Black Knight is an idea. And ideas outlast objects. Space junk burns up. Legends don't. So the Black Knight still circles Earth, whether real or not. A phantom satellite in our collective imagination. Inspiring questions no science can quiet. What if it's ancient? What if it's alien? What if it's watching still? These what-ifs keep the story alive. Every telescope pointed skyward feeds it. Every new signal adds fuel. Every lost object in orbit becomes suspicious, and so the cycle continues. Fact fades. Mystery remains. The Black Knight becomes folklore, as old as myths of gods in the sky, as modern as satellites and space stations. That duality makes it timeless. People share the story not because they believe, but because they wonder, because it's fun to imagine, because it makes the cosmos feel alive. Science has its verdict. Conspiracy has its answer. But in the middle lies legend. A story still told around the digital campfires of today. The Black Knight floats there. Between fact and fiction, between orbit and myth, between silence and wonder, a dark sentinel in the night sky forever echoing the mystery we crave.
That's it for today's Forgotten Tale. If this story made you raise an eyebrow don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that dusty little bell so you never miss another echo from the past. Drop it in the comments, we're always listening for new echoes. Got a weird bit of history you think we should cover? Until next time, keep your curiosity loud and your history weird.